Hey guys, we're going through the 89 chapters in the 4 Gospels. Series title is This is Love. Question is, what is love? And through the life and the teachings of Jesus, we are discovering what love is. We're in Matthew 21. In Matthew 21, we discover that love is tested in the challenging times. And boy, are we in a challenging time. Such an interesting scene at the beginning of the chapter. Jesus and his disciples make their triumphal entry into Jerusalem. And the people celebrate him. And they celebrate him in the public street, right? On the main street. And they throw down their coats. They let his donkey and his disciples walk on top, his followers walk on top of them. They put down the palm branches and they essentially say, hey, it's the Messiah, it's the Savior, it's the one we've been waiting on. Our allegiance is to him and we're so excited that he's here. And guess what? It's less than a week later that a similar type crowd, maybe some of the same people, are screaming on a Friday morning, crucify him. And then it's on that Friday afternoon that Jesus has been nailed to a cross and he's hanging there. And how many supporters does he now have? Well, there's no large crowd. In fact, but one of the disciples has deserted him. There's just John, his mother, and then one other. 2 women and 1 man. And that's it. Where did everybody go? Well, we know in 1 John 4 that it says that there is no fear in love, and perfect love casts out all fear. And so, I can't speak for the other people, but what we know from that is that when we are abiding in love, and the one who is love, that fear can't abide there with us. So when we are surrounded and faced with challenging times, we can know if we're loving, if we're acting from a place that is for the other, no matter what we are facing. Are we living for the other? Like John, like his mother, like Mary Magdalene, are we there for the other even though our life is on the line? I mean, Jesus did it first, being on that cross, right? Or are we only excited about people? Are we only willing to worship and celebrate, right? And serve the vulnerable, the hurting, to do what Jesus would do, to follow Jesus when he looks triumphant and everything looks good and it looks like we're winning. Because that's what it was for the crowd when Jesus entered Jerusalem. They thought they were about to win. They thought he was going to lead a revolution and that they were going to be free of their Roman oppressors and all this kind of stuff. So when they thought they were about to be in power, well, they were ready to follow Jesus. And what did Jesus say? He said, serve the vulnerable. Don't make it about you. Make it about others. So they were ready. Sure. That's the trade-off we get if we get to be in power. But if you're hanging on a cross, we're done following you. And because we don't want to hang on the cross too. The question is, the test of love happens in the midst of the greatest challenges. And the question is, in this great challenge, what do you have the relation? Do I have the relationship with love that makes my mind and my heart say, who can I serve today? How can I make my life about others today? Not how can I fight for my right to do what I want to do, but how can I find a way to lay down my life to serve somebody else? And we find out, that's easy to do when everything's good. Sure, I'll lay down my life. Here's 10% of what I make, and I make a lot of money, and I'm really comfortable. I mean, I don't know. That's just one example, right? But when it's really, really challenging, what then are we willing to give up? Are we going to truly love as Jesus did? Then the true test of love happens during the most challenging times.